played with and against these guys a bunch in the past.
It's a very good point.
Some information, some potential tactics. But yeah, in particular, one that stands out to mind is when they were about to push out of apps. Adren ran out first, the rest of the team stayed in, and it seemed like he jumped the gun.
Yes, and that's another thing that Fitch said in the interview, is teams who don't really know them, who haven't played against them or with them a whole lot, won't really know where to place them, where to rank them. That is a mistake that Adren, I'm sure, has passed along to his teammates. Not to make that one, not to underestimate this AVANGAR team, and we are going to be live into the pistol round. These teams both 1-1. Will not be eliminated or move on based on this match. And look at the aggression from FaZe. Two players pushing into the underpass. They're going to meet up with Fish, Katowice, and James. Here's the battle. Olaf goes down. Rain's in a tough spot. We know he's going with the pistol, but that's asking too much. A very tough angle to face so many bodies, and a huge advantage for AVANGAR early on.
Yeah, I mean, that is the perfect start, really. Olafmeister and Rain. Olafmeister did have a bit of a rough game yesterday that we were casting. I think at one point he was 8-20, but obviously on Mirage, a brand new game, fresh all game to deliver. AVANGAR going to take this two-player advantage, though, and make a move over on the A side. Nico was there, but he's starting to move away.
They've gamble stacked towards the B bomb site. Obviously, so many players in underpass, they think perhaps the next likeliest hit is going to be at that B bomb site. They're guessing and reading wrong. But you can't really blame them. A two-man deficit, you're kind of hoping that you get a little bit of luck to go your way. It's not going to happen this round. And then you have to question, do they even go for this? They have a smoke, flash, and 2 kits. Guardian has armor, which he could upgrade for free. Do you just stay in this B bomb site and use what you have for the next round? As we've seen these second-round investments from teams be very effective. FaZe knows that. Remember, they won both pistol rounds yesterday against Renegades, lost both second rounds. That was something they said they were going to work on overnight. And they're going to exactly do that, play for the second round.
Yeah, it makes a bunch of sense. They've got a bunch of equipment value here with the utility, as you say, the couple of kits that they have too. May as well take that through, get some force buys behind it, some upgraded pistols, and they can make a real go of this second round. AVANGAR, though, are going to take 0 casualties coming out of this round purely off the basis of that opening pick from both Quicker and Fitch down in Underpass. And they're off to a great start. I mean, they're looking to push FaZe into those best of 3s a little bit earlier than FaZe would like.
Yeah, certainly that would be uncomfortable for FaZe. Well, the losing best of 3s. I think what happens later today, I think it's going to be all best of 3s essentially from there on out. Yeah. It's that early morning voice. Still hasn't loosened up, haven't done all my vocal cord stretches.
Well, we had a late one last night, didn't we? Not quite as late as Chad. Oh, sorry, it was Pimp and Machine casting the crazy overtime games.
There was that, and yeah, they did, and then they had the Liquid NIP game. And I'm not going to lie to you, I fell asleep during that match. So fair play to those guys with the late night. Kai Kurt, great entry. Dink from Rain. Not able to complete the kill, but that's going to force the AK back. Those scouts can be dangerous. Guardian's got one. We know how impressive he is with the sniper rifles, and you've got Olaf with the other one. Perching up towards those B halls, it allows 4 players to stack over towards A, or 3 as the one has been eliminated.
Going to be 3 players strong from FaZe, though. It's only Olaf that's still over on the B side of the map. So if AVANGAR go for A again, things could get a bit sketchy. CZ in the hand of Nico, could be taking first contact just outside the ramp. Guardian towards the CT boxes. He is just shoulder peeking, see if he can get some information. I believe he just saw the ankle of Chris in there in ramp, so that's going to be a call across the rest of the team. Going to put down the smoke just to stall a little bit longer. This is now allowing Olafmeister to rotate from B. AVANGAR need to be careful here. This could quickly get out of control.
This boost is huge, though. Adren, he's moved over to get eyes on it as Olaf rotates over. It's going to be tough to get those scouts involved. Adren now outside. He's pushing through to jungle. He's completely blind as he looked away. And I think that might actually push back the damage. These scouts are going to be so tough to utilize. The smokes are coming up, and they never got a chance to get into the action. You're really hoping for the scouts to deal some damage to soften up your opponents, for the pistols to clean them up. But AVANGAR eliminates everyone before Olaf can find that kill.
That's just a solid take. I thought things were going to get real sketchy real fast. But AVANGAR, Mac-10s going first, claim the kills, and the rest is history. It's really now if FaZe can save. 2 scouts into the next round would be nice. Neither of them have a sidearm, unfortunately, to drop to one of their teammates if they can hold on to these guns. But at least it does give them a little bit of a power play into round 3 for FaZe Clan. You don't expect them to invest behind it.
No, they won't buy behind these scouts, but certainly you never know what kind of a headshot is going to turn the tides. Olaf will be able to get a chance to pick off one, but Kaikard's jumped over too swiftly. So 2-0 without too much fuss. Without a whole lot of resistance from FaZe so far. Feels like the match really has yet to get started.
I think that's fair. And, you know, again, we're kind of talking about this, that some teams notoriously can start quite slow in the morning, the earlier games. So once FaZe wake up, maybe things are going to get interesting. And remember, they started very slow against Renegades in the first half. It was really the last 5 or 6 rounds when we started to see Nico and Guardian deliver the performances that we know that they're capable of. Only 1 kill in 2 rounds could be a bit of an issue for FaZe, though. They're not really able to get things rolling as of yet, and that was in the hands of Olofmeister, who is one of the scout-wielding players.
Gonna have another chance here, Guardian. I don't believe he spotted that player jump over towards top mid. Either way, taking a big risk. He's gonna get an opportunity. Finds the tag. He does have armor, so he can tank a little bit of damage. This time, FaZe choosing to stack over towards the B bomb site. Olaf back towards ticket booth with his scout. But a very passive setup that allows AVANGAR anything they want in this round.
Sure, passive the key word. AVANGAR, though, going to be taking the initiative, starting to push in, smoking out window. They know there's at least 1 scout in play, probably know there's 2. Good way of neutralizing the potential threats from FaZe, but we do have a CZ additionally in the hands of Rain, who's peering across from short, so still some danger in play. Doing a good job so far, AVANGAR, of not leaking any casualties. Fitch, of course, was tagged early on, down to 29.
They're just making sure there's not going to be any pushes, any fast flanks from someone getting aggressive in those B halls, and now they're going to readjust towards A. There is a little bit of an element of danger. There's 2 nades on Nico and Adren. Unfortunately, those are both over towards the B bomb site, which is not where this final hit is going to come to place. But you never know. A couple tags with those scouts. Olaf's going to get a chance here. Oof, and he's dropped. That flashbang just gave Kaikert the half second he needed to get at the angle.
Yeah, now it's going to be FaZe trying to retake. They're going to have a buy in the next round regardless of what happens here. This is where the 2 nades could really come into play, though. There they go, out towards the site. Neither of them land. And that was one of their keys to retaking this site. Won't be happening. Jane with 2. Adren and Guardian both very low. Are doing a bit of damage on their way out, though. Adren could feasibly land something else. Wasn't far off landing the jumping no-scope, but AVANGAR will pick up a 3-0. Moses, the pressure's on FaZe now. This is the first rifle round. This is the first chance to really start to bounce back on this CT side.
They have a good chance, though. Guardian has the AWP. Olaf picking up the AUG, what seems to be the sole AUG player on the FaZe side. It's a nice find from Chris, and I believe Adren actually did tag him with that jump no-scope. But you're right. Here we go. We'll see if FaZe can get into it earlier, if they're going to be having to mount a comeback throughout this first half. Pretty fast utility usage over towards this A bomb site. Guardian's already been brought down to 29 HP. That's towards top connector. Buster starting to peek, starting to get curious. He's going to eliminate Guardian. No chance for a trade from Nico on top of the stairs. He's going to trade out for that AWP. James, here's the scope. Some early pressure for AVANGAR nets them a kill, and they've backed away.
Horrendous start again for FaZe, though, at the cost of only 2 health. Fitch has found another one. This time it's Nico. Picked up the AWP from the dead Guardian. Seemed like a cursed AWP at that now. And Quicker going to try and make the most of it. Getting tagged in the backside. Olofmeister is going to at least try and even the odds, but still AVANGAR have the player advantage. They have connector control. And Krisnis making a move on the B side. This is so much information for the rest of his team. They've got plenty of time to pivot off this info as well.
Yeah, but now Olofmeister knows Krisen actually missed his opportunity. He heard the footsteps of Olaf running away, calls his team out. You can see them readjusting, and Olaf's actually gotten out. This is a sneaky little bit of mobility that might catch them off guard. Certainly now he's going to hear the footsteps, but he's overexposed. I think Kaikert might have seen him. Tough situation to be in. Krisen's got the kill. Olaf trying to make some kind of magic happen, and the rest of FaZe has yet to respond, and AVANGAR's going to get this plant.
Yeah, Dren really just waiting for Rain to make a move in. I don't even know if they'll actually attempt this retake. They've got no kit and only a flashbang. And now that Rain's been smacked down to 13, no hope of a retake. So FaZe will be conceding a 4th round in a row on their CT side. A disastrous start. Can Adren hold on to the M4? They're all playing around the idea of saving. Could be caught in the backside if he's not careful by Jame. Quickett's also having a peek across. You gotta say, AVANGAR have looked exceptionally impressive right now.
Yeah, not bad at all. This is a good find from Adren, though. Being able to get the AWP, clearing all the corners. You can see 2 players from AVANGAR, one on Catwalk as well. That was Kaikert. Seemed to be guarding that weapon, hoping someone from FaZe would come take it, but Adren finds his way out. And yeah, this is most definitely not ideal for FaZe, sitting at 1-1. These are just straight heads-up duels from AVANGAR. First from Palace onto Guardian at top connector, and then onto Nico as well, getting aggressive, trying to find the equalizing frag. Early timeout. YNK talking him through exactly what he's seen and exactly what he wants to see moving forward. From our perspective, though, maybe just FaZe needing to wake up.
Yeah, it does feel like that. Just all the duels going against them. It's not necessarily been the most flair style of CS that we've seen from AVANGAR or anything particularly amazing tactically or set play-wise. Just when it comes to the entries, it's been going their way. I mean, Guardian getting tagged down and fragged right off the bat's definitely not going to help matters. Yeah,
we didn't see how he got brought down to 30 before we even really got to his POV or anything like that. But certainly that early aggression from AVANGAR, they took advantage in a nice way. The lack of utility for the FaZe side, and it's still the same thing. This is what we saw previously. Kaikert using the same utility. Guardian in a very similar position. 3 players towards the B bomb site. But Guardian at stairs is pretty isolated. He can get picked off by James here. There's 1 player in Palace, so he can get pinned down pretty quickly, but he's moved over towards A ramp. Rain and Guardian, 1 information.
I feel like a lot of this is going to have to pivot off Guardian, but he may not be called into action because some of the terrorists now are making a move towards the B side of the map, or at least looking to wrap around in underpass. Mid-control established. When FaZe don't have a great deal of firepower of nades, you can understand that. Going to be double molotoving out. His forces Adren off the balcony. More one-dimensional defense for the time being. Does come out with a dink, though. And I think he's trying to bait in the rest of the teammates right now into this stack. They're not going to check up on the boost. Prison could be living on borrowed time. Still, the player is up there. It's going to be Olofmeister who's going to try and deny the bomb. Comes through the second, but not able to get it done.
There's actually, why are there 2 players at the A bomb site from AVANGAR? This is so weird. The bomb's down at B. What a weird round. Guardian, though, he's not going to expect Jamie. This flank is going to be so devastating. It's Rain. 1 on 2. They're both going to be from Market. He needs this kill, and he's got it. Last bullet, but he's not going to expect the follow-up either. This is so tough. FaZe going to be just as confused as I was with AVANGAR's ability to have 2 players in the A bomb site while they're attacking B with the bomb.
I can see the importance of Olofmeister's boost there. If he picks up the second kill outright, things could have got so bad. But instead, FaZe, they're not going to be bouncing back with a buy. Remember, of course, that was more of a half buy with 2 save weapons. So now they can come straight back in with a really healthy one, with a double AWP set up in play. Olof with the second of the AWPs, Guardian, of course, with the main.
Tough part is, there's not a whole lot of time left for FaZe to get going. Again, a lean towards this B bomb site. Mid-control for Nico and Guardian. Nico, by the way, stuck on 0 kills. Not what you want to see from one of the best players in the world in this match. Here comes the execute towards A, and it's going to have to be a retake. Guardian Nico going to be stuck behind the smoke. Rain as well, can't really do anything. They can hope for some damage through the smoke, and they've at least gotten some onto Kaikert.
Yeah, this is such a great counter to a double AWP setup as well. AVANGAR just smoking everything off. A retake with 2 AWPs is going to be very difficult, plus a lack of grenades as a result. They haven't quite got onto the site just yet, though, with the bomb. Now they're going to start to make moves, but Krisen's been tagged down to just 17. He has to be very careful that some bullets don't come through the smokes. And with AVANGAR being so slow, now the smokes are starting to fade. They haven't got this bomb planted. It has to go down right now. Krisen's going to get it done by the skin of their teeth and does go down instantly afterwards.
Surprised we didn't see a peek from CT spawn, but FaZe obviously believing that angle was going to be held. Tough retake scenario with plenty of utility. They have 2 kits. And Guardian's going to start things off as Fitch swings into his crosshair. No time for a player to go back to mid from the AVANGAR side. That's a good kill for James.
Buster's position is so vitally important. They're going to flush him out straight away. James, though, playing in second, is the last player to fall, and FaZe Clan will get their first round on the board just about with a defuse.
Yeah, grinding retake as well. Those ops doing work, though. 2 kills, the opening for Guardian, and the final one for Olaf. Olaf just holding for that peak on A ramp. Timeout from AVANGAR. They want to respond immediately. They want to break this economy of FaZe, and that would be a disaster. That would be AVANGAR really being able to build up this score that they have, this lead that they have. It's 5-1, and FaZe must hold on.
Yeah, it was such an odd, interesting round, wasn't it, from AVANGAR? They were so slow to get the bomb finally planted that by the time they did, the smokes had cleared and they couldn't relocate into better positions. Yeah. They're all kind of clumped up at the back on Tetris.
We see that a number of time in those hits is you know, the terror side throw those smokes, and then it takes them so long to get the bomb planted that they faded. And actually, they're fortunate to even get that plant down. Yeah. If any peek comes, there was no one actually guarding for that CT spawn peek, so it could have been a nightmare if someone peeked connector or from CT spawn on the FaZe side of things. Obviously played it conservative and let that plant go down, but not too shabby, all things considered, from FaZe in that round. They have a small amount of money built up behind this, so it wouldn't be the harshest of resets if AVANGAR were to take this, but still, 5 rounds already has got to be worrying. Guardian using the Molotov to give himself a gap in this smoke. Would love to find Jame.
The same idea, of course, what we were seeing yesterday on Nuke outside. Want to stop the wall of smokes from coming into play, but Jame is going to make the most of this already. Into connector, very forward position, information gathered. Can see that no one is behind default at this time. And out come the terrorists again. It's a lot of damage inflicted to Fitch and Quicker, but they're going to claim first blood in round 7. Well, now FaZe, pretty thinly spread. They're having to send over Olofmeister to try and fill in the gaps from jungle. And there's still a lot of time, and the bomb isn't fully committed. It's still a ramp.
Tough part is Olaf has to stay in this position. He can't even rotate over to properly help his teammates. Nico's taken some big risks to get underneath the balcony in shadow. And AVANGAR is so happy with the position of Jame. They can slow play this now. Still 45 seconds left on the clock. And FaZe doesn't have the control, but Guardian's got the op, and there's the first kill. Now he's got to peer towards Palace. Nico can stop them from getting into the bomb site. That's going to be the freest kill. That's going to be the bomb down. Still Jame to deal with, who hasn't moved. Still waiting for someone to come through, and he's going to look away. Now Olaf calls out his position, and Jame and Buster don't have a whole lot that they can do to win this round.
Yeah, Dren should really have this locked down. Has the nade out, though, and that's going to cost him his life. Now there's a lifeline tossed across to AVANGAR, but they've only got 13 seconds to make the most of it. And Nico is going to silence Jame. Guardian extinguishes Buster on the push out of Palace, and FaZe have strung 2 together.
That's a tense round, though. FaZe isn't going to win a whole lot of those rounds if Jame can get in that position as quickly as he did. They need to really at least have eyes on that so you can call it out. Jame also almost wreaking havoc on the defense. 2-5 is FaZe starting to build into this, and this can be an easier round for them. They have an AK, AVANGAR on Jame. Everyone else kind of slowing their investment, though. P250 is a little bit of light utility, just that real one powerful weapon, and Jame's already been hit by a nade. Now going to jump in towards mid, and it looks like he wants to say, all right, well, if you're not going to cover this, I'll just go right back to it and see what I can do this time.
It's almost every round that Jame is getting into connector. This time he takes a bit of a tag, but again, look at his position, and he's moving out into jungle. This is so much information for the rest of AVANGAR, but finally, Rain's going to find him. Olofmeister with the secondary AWP strikes with Crizzen. And normal service has resumed, but I was scared for FaZe for a few moments there. Yeah,
another very passive setup, but I mean, they weren't going to get fooled by that. They had 2 players in CT spawn. You can see Nico on the minimap just watching for someone to come towards window room, so Jame wasn't going to be able to flank towards the B bomb site or behind ticket booth. And Rain obviously just checking it frequently enough to stop any damage. That's a great shot from the connector. Guardian goes down hard.
And again, keep in mind that there's really only Jame that fully invested into this round. Quicket's down at $1,000, but if they can do more damage with these Deagles, the round could still be somewhat of a success for AVANGAR.
No, actually, Adren's the only one at this B bomb site at the moment. Olaf's rotated over to watch for any kind of window room play. So if Adren goes down here, they're going to get a plant, and they'd be able to salvage that weapon, and then things could get spicy on the retake. But Adren's going to fall away, needs to stay alive as long as possible. He's got 1. Fitch, the only remaining player, is dropped by Olaf, who gets back just in time to provide some assistance.
Yeah, I love that off the back of the respect that FaZe have shown to AVANGAR on A. They've hit A most rounds. I think that's only the 2nd time they've tried B. Last time was in a pistol. And with the rest of the players having enough funds, we are going to have another full purchase by AVANGAR. Of course, James is the player that has to dip down to a CZ, but they do have 3 AK-47s, and Krisen also on the pistol. So FaZe still have some threats to contend with, but if they can repel this round, they should be able to string more together. There's now 3 in a row. Quicker with the same flashbang we've seen before. And AVANGAR, again, looking to try and take some into control. This time Nico is in connector, though.
AVANGAR going for a little bit of a weaker buy as well, not saving another round to get all rifles across the board. Nico's got to cover connector and window room. He's got a chance. James not looking. James has had some success getting in good positions, and he keeps going back to it, but it seems like FaZe not going to let that happen anymore.
Yeah, I think the strat book now is a little bit obvious on the side of FaZe, or at least this mid-interconnector presence that James has shown. It is one of the CZs. They still have all 3 AKs intact and maybe looking for a bit of a boost, but you see Quicket there was a bit premature, made some noise. Nico, in the meanwhile, he's going to find the headshot with the M4. Takes minimal damage, actually nothing at all. Buster's the only player that's counteracted, but he's down to 12. This is starting to look a bit rough for AVANGAR, Moses. They are being somewhat red now at this stage.
Oh, they're giving Nico in this round 3 individual one-on-ones, and he's going to love that. He's going to take that all day long. 3 frags for Nico in this round. Buster waiting at an awkward angle. Adren's going to adjust, cleans up the damage that Rain inflicted earlier. 4-5, so FaZe have recovered quite nicely. After a 5-round losing streak, they've now won 4 in a row, and we're going to get the second timeout out of AVANGAR. Only 2 remaining for them for the rest of this game.
Yeah, really trying to make the most of this great start that they had to the half. Remember, it was 5-0 to one stage to AVANGAR. In terms of this round, there's not much they can realistically do, but they're actually forcing it up here. Or at least quicker it is. So that, I think they're going for a similar tactic to what we saw a couple rounds ago, where James had the AK.
Yeah, that's... I mean, it's kind of a cool idea. It's a nice way to apply a decent amount of pressure. I don't think the FaZe economy is exactly where they'd like it to be for this kind of a pressure-inducing play. And on top of that, even that round we saw with James having the only AK-47, you could see what it caused their next buy, where they only had 3 AKs and 2 CZs. So, got to be a little bit careful with the economy, but AVANGAR at least wanting to find some frags, even if they can't win the round. This looks like they want to be a little bit faster than they have previously.
I can respect the idea, though, and the aggression of having constant AKs with armor behind. I mean, I suppose they are coming up to max round loss bonus as well, so there's going to be plenty of money coming in.
They just threw all the utility that they invested in towards mid to get control. It's all going to fade. So again, that utility that AVANGAR uses, they haven't really kind of gained anything from it. They do lose Fitch. He brings Adren down to 12. And unfortunately, it seems all designed to get this boost into place to duel against Nico, but this time he's playing really passive in CT Spawn, just watching the murder hole, making sure nobody can cross. So if that's your goal, if this is where AVANGAR is going to try and find that opening kill to get this round in their favor, the question is if they have a plan B.
Good news for AVANGAR. They did so much damage to Adren that they can't feasibly take one of these B players and put him over an A in case the remaining 4 players push, but Nico's passive angle is not going to yield anything. But Quicker with a second is cracking open this round. This is going to put a lot of pressure on Guardian with his AWP. He has to hold the line by himself. Could be getting tested from multiple angles. He'll pass the first test. Krisen goes down. Dink. Oh, what a flick to Buster. Did land the dink onto Guardian, but he bounces back with the AWP frag. And I said he had a couple of tests coming up. Well, he's passed them with flying colors. What a hold by Guardian.
That's what makes him such a special player. What a difficult shot to hit when he's getting dinked and he actually has no idea. He hadn't even considered Palace, really. That adjustment under fire is very nice, and even Nico smiling with that one. Great round from Kikert, though. Almost opens up this entire bomb site for him. The great shot onto Nico. The follow-up onto Rain was huge. Guardian just does him one better. Right there, that one onto Buster. Good shots. And we're all tied up now, Vince. 5-5. FaZe have made this comeback happen. Pretty efficiently as well. They have a good amount of money. They have another buy, maybe 2, behind any loss they take.
Sure, it has been a rough road for AVANGAR in recent memory. I think Buster's about to find himself Oh my goodness, there's going to be some questions from Nico. Guardian's made a move through the smoke, and he's been picked off as well. I'm so confused. Rain has been found behind the site. He will meet the same demise. All off the back of a smoke push. Nico must be livid that he got killed from behind.
It's obviously super awkward timing, and that's a play that's probably not made by a whole lot of European teams with consistency. That feels very much like a wrinkle from this AVANGAR team. Just walking through it, no flashbang, no utility. And it's tough, too, because it's one of those rounds. We know Nico can get frustrated, but it's one of those rounds, if you're Nico, that it is really unfortunate timing, and you are going to be pissed off, and you are going to be frustrated, but you almost have to bite your tongue. Can't let that frustration show at this stage in the game. Still plenty of Mirage left to go.
They're really got to keep focused, especially as the IGL, for the players looking at you to make decisions to guide them to a victory. But AVANGAR will retake the lead, so we've had 5 rounds going either way in succession.
Still, though, I mean, FaZe having a really tough time controlling this connector in middle of the map. They haven't really fought for any kind of mid-control. And we've seen multiple times AVANGAR able to get a player at that connector and just wreak havoc on him, and it happens again there through the smoke. They've got to be more careful. It might be something where don't put Guardian in that position. Let him play towards Ticket Booth, where he's had a couple very successful rounds. Get one of the M4s, one of the AUGs watching that. Get someone on Catwalk to help out. At least slow down and able to gather information, and we could see Rain doing just that. It looks like Adren is going to meet up with him as well. Nico dodges the AWP bullet and finds the kill onto Fitch, and there's Guardian chiming in as well.
And a whiffed smoke, just to rub salt in the wounds on mid.
No, but even this play towards A ramp, look at Buster taking liberties with the T side, walking in quietly, and because FaZe is playing so passively, nobody has any idea Nico could get blindsided again.
You can see the respect he's showing to Connector, because again they don't have mid control, and there is Buster. And again, it's going to be Nico that is the first player to be surprised. Will AVANGAR be able to get the bomb planted? They will. The smoke on Connector will afford them that luxury. Molotov also into jungle, stops Rain from dealing with the plant. And a second one. So AVANGAR are wasting valuable time, but there's still plenty of utility for FaZe. I mean, they are stacked to the brim, 3 Molotovs, couple of HEs. It's hard to see how AVANGAR survive this retake.
No, but it's funneled FaZe all towards CT spawn. There's going to be no one covering mid. So yeah, those smokes are going to come into play right here at the end. Buster got to hold on. There's a good shot from James far back. FaZe is being whittled down. There goes the mid player. Kuiper peeks too early, but FaZe cannot to the bomb. Buster with a double kill, and AVANGAR pulled it out of nowhere. A great round, all started by that aggressive play up ramp from Buster. That's 2 rounds in a row now that Nico has gotten blindsided in an area that Guardian with the AWP has just lost track of for half a second.
That is unbelievable with all those grenades. They can't even get close to the site. What a hold by AVANGAR. But as you mentioned earlier, FaZe Clan, their economy was in such good shape they could continually buy. However,
not anymore.
Their savings are gone after this round. If they lose it, AVANGAR could even get to a 10-5 half.
That'd be nasty. This would be a very painful reset for FaZe. A lot on the line here for the star-studded mixed team. 5-7 in the favor of AVANGAR. And FaZe have to fight this one. Only the one kid on Guardian who has an AWP, UMP on Adren with no utility. It's still a very passive defense.
That's a good point. Again, we haven't really seen FaZe take the fight to AVANGAR. In this round, I suppose with a lack of utility, you could understand it a little bit more. But Guardian, who had some phenomenal shots early on in this half, could be called upon again. AVANGAR, though, seemingly like faking it. They're actually pulling away, and this has got a third player over to the A side, and mid-control, again, is lacking for FaZe Clan.
Not even necessarily mid-control, just eyes on it is what's scary. Nico not being too aggressive at his peaks. Olaf on Catwalk and Adren in those B halls. That's a good pick from Guardian. That's towards Catwalk. Now Olaf going to go for the follow-up peek. The AUG is going to ring out. 2 headshots for Olaf. And Kuiper's got to be aggressive, but Adren peeks out of nowhere. That's going to be the round. Nico falls. And James going to back away. Another, interestingly enough, we've seen the AVANGAR do this a couple times. A lot of utility use at that A bomb site. I don't know what they saw that made them say we don't like this. Maybe they're just assuming they've pulled rotations and B would be a little bit weaker, but they just back away slowly without any kind of an appearance, and then don't use utility to try and get up Catwalk.
Yeah, that's typically why you'll see teams, if they do fake a site, they'll still have 1 or 2 players poised, ready to just push B very quickly. They'll be in apps, they'll be underpass, something like that. So you can quickly hit B while that rotation comes in and catch them maybe in the back. But AVANGAR were all stacked outside A. So they fake it, it takes them 20, 30 seconds to get round to mid. In that time phase, like, cool. Like, yeah, we don't have to do anything right now.
And certainly, I mean, that's the point where you imagine FaZe is going to start peeking for information, which is what results Guardian getting that opening pick on towards Catwalk. Good round from Olaf, though. The double kill really ensures that nothing crazy happens. No shenanigans. Ooh, Guardian just finds him right before that smoke plumes. We're going to get I believe this is a technical timeout.
Yeah, I think Nico just had a game crash or something. It looks like he is back on the server again, though.
Nico calling a tech timeout in order to look at Guardian, give him the death stare. Be like, if you miss one more player coming up a choke point, I will freak out.
Guardian's had a pretty good game, though, overall. So Nico maybe needs to dial it in if that were the case. Everyone's very close on FaZe, though. From top to bottom, there's only 3 kill difference. Adren on 10. Rain down at 7, whereas on AVANGAR, you've got Buster and Jane both on 10 frags and Krisen on 3. It's been a very close back and forth game. Well, it's been very spree heavy. I mean, you have 5-0 to AVANGAR, 5-5 to FaZe Clan, then AVANGAR win 2, now FaZe are coming back again.
I'm just pretty surprised at how passive FaZe has been this entire half.
Yeah. That's a fair point. I'd have expected at least some aggression at some stage through mid.
Well, yeah, it's not even necessarily the aggression, but it's the fact that they've lost track of so many players. They just don't have the information. Like the number of times James and Kaikert have been able to be aggressive in window or connector and not get spotted until they're already peeking into a bomb site is just pretty crazy to me. Guardian this time keeping eyes on it with the op, peeking towards Catwalk. He's going to duel against James if James swings out too far. And this time AVANGAR, they go for this investment. They have very limited utility and nades to use. 1 smoke, 1 Molotov, 1 flash, and 1 nade.
It's going to have to be entries by the looks of things. And James again. Coming up, connector could be reaction-based. Guardian wasn't far off that shot. Nico going to take the initiative and peek out of window, finds himself Fitch. AVANGAR have been somewhat repelled at this stage. It's becoming stagnant in round 14. Only 1 smoke remains between the 3 of them. I think Guardian just saw the elbow.
This is the peak, though. Krisen could actually drop Guardian. Rain's going to walk right into it. He's low HP, does get away somehow. Lucky to be alive. But FaZe isn't going to sit on their haunches the entire time. Now they're going to go hunt them down. Krisen and Jane, the last 2 left. 20 seconds. They might just choose to save this. And Rain wants nothing to do with that battle. It's like, hell no.
At the same time, though, there's a few players on FaZe that are quite low on funds, so they can't afford to lose too many weapons. You can see there, Guardian 85 ADR, James 101.
Look at Nico, though. He's in T-spawn. He's coming for this. I think he's going to go for it for sure. And if he gets any of these kills down the stretch, remember, they wouldn't get the bonus money, but he's shut down with the quickness. Not a big loss. Nico, plenty of teammates that can drop him over a gun. Olaf and Rain, Olaf, Rain, and Adren, all with enough cash flow to drop him a weapon.
Yeah, sacrificing 1 or 2 players would have been fine, but it would have got a bit sketchy if AVANGAR found 3 or 4. That being said, last round of the half to determine who goes through to the next half in the lead. Either way, AVANGAR will be happy with 7 rounds minimum.
Oh yeah. And that also might be why they've kept up this kind of habit of force buying so many rounds where there's been at least 1 or 2 elements of danger for AVANGAR. Them saying, you know, we got to 4 and 5 pretty quickly in this game. Let's just keep grinding this and see if we can ever break that economy and skyrocket it, or maybe just steal 1 or 2 here and there. This has been a very nice half from them. A couple head scratchers, but you can't argue with the results.
In terms of their arsenal of weaponry, is running pretty low, pretty dry. Bottom of the barrel purchase. AVANGAR only with 2 smokes and a few flashbangs remaining. Very much split up across the board as well. James currently positioned in Palace. Could be the linchpin that they pivot off if they decide to go on A, which is Quicket's current trajectory. FaZe still have quite a few nades, though. They're looking pretty healthy themselves, and again, they've given up mid. But this is the correct call. Rain gonna smoke down, stall a bit more time.
Oh dear.
How can you counteract that? That is just pure timing. Guardian must be so angry right now. Just peek straight out of Palace, no flashes, no smokes, no problems.
Well, Guardian's been covering Connector from spawn and from the bomb site a number of times, so I think James just takes, you know, an educated guess, a little bit of a risk, obviously. One player over towards B, and I don't think that's going to be much of a fake, but it's pulled Nico back with that op, so Rain's going to have a lot of pressure. He does get the first, and now Nico realizes it. Allfango with the AWP. No smoke in his face, and there goes the plant. Oh, and he couldn't do it. He couldn't be in cover. James going to pick him off, and he's going to swing around and get another one. The aggressiveness of James is just dirty.
He was just slightly too late there, Moses. Tried to spray through the smoke to get the kill, but gave his position away.
This is a really odd style from AVANGAR, though, that I think is just super difficult to read. Adren still has a chance, though. A 1-on-2. Buster is low, and he's going to be in mid.
Adren does have a kit as well. If he can get this next kill quickly, things could get quite interesting. He's checking every angle apart from Tetris, and Krizin is going to put him down. AVANGAR will lead 8-7 at half-time.
Yeah, this is a half from them. They've given themselves an advantage. We'll see if FaZe can overcome it in the second half. Stay with us. Welcome back to IEM Katowice, a 1-on-1 match between FaZe and AVANGAR. And the AVANGAR team, a surprising squad that a lot of people have underestimated. They're up 8-7 at half. And that's from the hard side. Things, in theory, should get easier, especially when you consider we've seen FaZe get bogged down with their T-sides in the past. Most recently, yesterday, against Renegades on Inferno.
Bit of a pattern emerging as well. FaZe very slow to start on against Renegades. They went in a huge deficit. Here, AVANGAR 5-0 in the lead. So FaZe going to have to tell themselves, look, you know, it's a horrible start. We're somewhat still in this game. Win the second pistol, game well and truly on. This is a spicy prospect right now, really on a razor's edge. Fitch going to see the smoke just deploying ahead of him, plus a couple players pushing up connector. He's just going to back the hell out of there. But they're not actually setting up for a retake. They have no kits or nades here. So if they do give up too much ground, this is going to play into the hands of FaZe Clan.
There's 5 players for AVANGAR defending this A bomb site. Fitch is now slowly starting to rotate from top connector over towards market. If FaZe pick up this pace, Rain's in a good position, but he's got to be careful behind him. They're watching this murder hole. They know that FaZe has control of the window room. This is actually a pretty tough spot for Rain to be in. But again, it's going to be Fitch who takes the brunt of the attack. The sole defender over at B, and Rain just waiting for his timing, waiting for his moment.
And you can see that he's very cautious and worried about a potential player pulling behind him, but there's Fitch, going to find himself on the receiving end of a dink, down to just 3 health. Last line of defense, this is where Rain's position becomes so tenable. He has spotted one player going into kitchen, which is going to be James. Has been the shining star of AVANGAR, with 112 ADR to his name.
Rain is eating so much time off the clock. Kykert and Krizen both spending time to clear out this spot. If Rain gets one of these kills, it's a disaster.
Guardian spinning around, lands 2 headshots and a 3rd! Oh my goodness, what a play by Guardian! That is the piss around secured, surely, off the back of 3 pixel-perfect headshots. He's not going to get a 4th, but the damage has been done. I say that, but Krizen's going to find 2 of his own. This is where the lack of kit and time is going to be an issue, though. So FaZe will still win the round. What a performance by Guardian.
That's so dirty. He had to spin around to that player jumping out of Mark through the window. A beautiful sequence from Guardian to secure that pistol. They're not out of it just yet, though. Recall yesterday, winning both pistols, losing both second rounds. We know FaZe is susceptible to this kind of a situation. You do have to give a shout out to Rain, though. So much time that he's able to delay those rotations. Krizen never even got into these fights. These kills have 0 impact because the round's already over. Look at FaZe isn't messing around at all in this round. They have 3 MAC-10s and a UMP and the 1 AK and Guardian, but everyone has full utility. They're just saying, you know what? We've struggled so much against stacks. Let's make sure we use all the Molotovs, all the nades. We'll treat this like a gun round. And it's a good thing they are, because they're going at the stack. There's no upgraded pistols bought up for AVANGAR. They do have 2 Zeuses. That could get weird.
I think they're both in Palace. Quicker and Jane both have Zeuses. And Nico not having any of it.
Fair
with
play.
SMG, they were ready for this push. Molotovs and smokes have been pretty much spot on as well, and FaZe not going to slip on that same banana peel of the second round. They're going to deal with it no problem.
That moment when you know you're too far away to connect with the Zeus, but you still just shoot it anyways.
Be fully committed at that stage.
You're just like, whatever. Plenty of bonus money for FaZe coming in with those SMG kills. You imagine AVANGAR is going to buy in this next round. FaZe have 4 SMGs. Do they just rinse and repeat? Full execute at the A bomb site, use those SMGs to get close up? How many are they going to upgrade?
I feel like this is the kind of round that Henry refers to as the bonus round, right? Where if you keep onto these SMGs, you can just rush straight out, see if you can get some headshots. If the AVANGAR go for a force buy and they go for the superior firepower, they are going to be lacking some head armor. So that's where the SMGs can become absolutely devastating. So let's see, Quicker's just gone for a straight up organ head armor, so that means he's got no nades left. There's going to be very few nades coming into this round.
Well, and he knew what was coming as well. He knows they're going to have a couple SMGs, right? At least 2 or 3 from the amount they had in the previous. So, I mean, he goes for that head armor full well knowing that if you don't have head armor, you're in some trouble of just one of those stray MAC-10 bullets really ruining your afternoon. Krizen has no armor whatsoever, so that's an interesting choice.
Maybe a misbuy? I'm not too sure about that. I mean, especially against SMGs.
No, he had
no armor.
He had plenty of money. I think he dropped the AWP over to James. I think that's why he doesn't have it. Here's Krizen. Without that armor, we'll see if it comes into effect. There goes his teammate. Fitch is here, though, as well. But the MAC-10 from Olaf Meister, it's doing work, and Krizen is found. They could delay no longer. James is going to even things up in a 2-on-2. With no kit, though, this is still going to be a tough retake.
Yeah, this is going to be brutal. Olaf still has a Molotov, just to make matters worse. We can slap that onto the site. Decides to push it into kitchen. This forces the CTs out into the open, but be careful what you wish for, Olaf Meister. It's down to Quicker. He's the player with the head armor, and the AUG is able to hold on. The damage has been done, though, for FaZe. 4 players go down, plus a bomb plant. FaZe will come straight back into this with a solid buy. AVANGAR still on the ropes.
Yes. FaZe is going to have AKs, AWP on Guardian. You'd imagine they're going to have everything they could possibly want, and AVANGAR on the verge of a reset. Even in a losing effort, this is a nice round from FaZe, but AVANGAR, that's a pretty solid defensive setup. They got a 3rd player over there very fast. That could have been just a straight knockout punch from FaZe if AVANGAR didn't have so many bodies leaning on that side of the map. A timeout called. I believe this is a tech as well. I think I saw one of the AVANGAR players drop out right at the end of that round. It is indeed confirmed.
And what a time to have it at 9-9 with so much on the line. One of these teams will be heading 2-1, the other 1-2. And we've already discussed the kind of teams that are down there in the 0-2 spots. You got ENCE, Big, NRG. You don't want to face any of those in your potential elimination best-of-3 match.
Yeah, there's some really tough opponents down there, aren't there?
We've reached that part of the major where there are no easy games.
That's a fair point to make. Yeah, everything from here on out is a battle. Battles with a lot on the line. Pretty solid buy from AVANGAR, all things considered. Only one player surviving. AWP on James still. They salvaged that from the last round. Oh, here we go. B-Rush it is. Leading the way is Olaf again with the MAC-10. Flashes, utility are out. He's clearing corners. They're stuck behind the wall. Smoke on Catwalk. They've got to realize it now. When the B bomb site is so clean, they just say, oh, Rain. Oh, Rain. That is a big risk to take. And now there's time for those smokes to fade. This could be so dangerous.
That plant is such a head scratcher. They may still get away with it though. Fitch and the Mimon, they are going to make the most of that smoke clearing, but there's Guardian standing tall, delivering more op shots. AVANGAR do have the player advantage, but the way Guardian's been playing, you would not write him off. May come down to timing. Bomb still not planted. Once Adren goes for this, it means Guardian's effectively going to be a 1-on-3 for a few moments. So he's going to take the initiative and push into Kitchen. Molotov tossed down, not going to deny the bomb plant. But James has found Guardian. It's all on Adren. Can he feasibly pull this off with the AK? No grenades at his disposal. And once he gives this position away in Kitchen, even if he gets the kill, there's two more CTs to contend with him elsewhere. On short, there's the first, but he's been tacked down to just 40 health and finished off. AVANGAR will hold on and get to 10 rounds.
James read that play so well. I have no idea. He bailed out of market very, very quick, perhaps realizing that he was the most susceptible to the aggression from FaZe. But yeah, the real mistake there from FaZe is that plant by Rain. Just put it safe. You haven't found anyone in that B bomb site. Just make sure you get the bomb plant, force him into a retake. But the fact that that took so long to recover the bomb and get it down allowed for the flank to come in as well. Massive elements of danger when that bomb doesn't get planted on the initial take.
Sure, I mean, the smoke wall was great. It was a slick take. It's not a brick wall, though. You can spam through there. And, of course, every player is going to know roughly where to spam for the short plant. And as soon as that bomb goes down, the dynamic of the rounds significantly changes.
It's just weird. It had to have just been a brain fart, but I mean, FaZe didn't even have anyone on Catwalk, and no one even posturing to go Catwalk late, so there's no reason to plant it there except maybe for the B tunnels. Great flashbang, he goes blind. Fitch is going to get 2. FaZe must have read something towards this B bomb site, but it's getting shut down. Buster here with the AWP is up next. Guardian's going to come in late, but again, so much time for the rotations to come in. Both AWPs at this B bomb site.
It's worth every penny of that $200, that flashbang, destroying the initial push. Guardian, again, trying to clutch this with Olafmeister. It's a similar kind of situation to the round prior. Players stacked against them, no plant forthcoming. The bomb's also out in the open, and Guardian has been found and fragged. Olafmeister, the good news for him is he gets the kill cleanly. And the bad news, still no control of the bomb, and 3 more CTs to find, and Quicker will not let him pass. This B site now looking a lot more powerful for AVANGAR.
It's closed. They have successfully held that now, and all that money that FaZe had from the bonus money from the SMG kills in the second round, from the follow-up round where they got 4 kills and a loss, all that just disappears now for FaZe. No advantages. They're actually forced back onto pistols, so AVANGAR take a solid hold of this match.
Got a question where FaZe go from here is they've really tried this B side. They've been repelled a couple of rounds. Sure, they got close.
Yeah, it's tough, right? I mean, first, the great read from AVANGAR in that third round to have, you know, a player ready to get there very, very quick. The real tough one is that not getting that plant down. That small mistake, as you mentioned, there's no easy matches now, and every small mistake you make is going to be punished in a big way.
Bit of flirtation over on the A side, but it's James that claims the first kill of round 21.
And James has been the better opper in this game. He's been outplaying FaZe essentially on both sides of the map now. He's been very effective. Guardian had some great rounds on the CT side, but James on the T side with that AWP, remember, he won them a couple with just his aggressive and assertiveness. Guardian's got great position, boosted up into window room, but they're so far back that I don't know what he can really punish. The best bet for Guardian, obviously, as we can see, would be to go through the murder hole and flank towards that B bomb site. No one has eyes on CT spawn. The opportunity to do that would dwindle, but with the rest of FaZe Clan lined up in the B halls, you'd expect, oh, it's not broken. That'll do it.
Yeah, it's like a safety net. It's similar to Vent on Cash. As soon as you hear it pop, you know what's happening. It's a sound cue. 25 seconds left. And FaZe Clan going to have to make a move. Fitch has spotted multiple oncoming terrorists. Buster going to hold the line. I say that he's actually gone down to the hands of a Dread. Fitch with some labored spray finally gets it done. That's also the bomb. The call will come through, and although FaZe are doing damage, the time is just so low. This round is going to go the way of AVANGAR.
No, they're going to get the plant. They're going to get the plant here and the kill just the last second. Adren, what a hero. He got on his horse, picked it up, and now all up Meister. They don't check the right corner. I don't know how FaZe have done this, but they've turned this round on its head. Jame is going to have to back away. This is not a retake you can go for. And look at the money of AVANGAR. FaZe have had so many close calls. They've taken the economy away as well. Adren, the stand-in, with a crucial play to pick the bomb up off the floor.
Oh my goodness, I assumed it was done. FaZe with, what, a second left?
Yes, he put the plant down just at the right time. Guardian was instrumental as well, cutting off the rotations. A chance here to get the op. James sees him, runs towards the bomb. He's going to take Guardian out right here at the end. Great shot from him. Double kill in the round, but what kind of money do you have to play with if you're AVANGAR? You might have to sit this round out. You have this AWP. James can actually drop a rifle, but the rest of them would be in a tough spot. We saw them do these buys on the T side, but it's much, much easier to make those buys work on the T side. On the CT side, you risk too much, especially when you have an 11 to 10, a very narrow lead.
How important, significant, influential could that round have been? 21. Could have been the moment where this shifted, because AVANGAR were looking good, and now, as you say, economically they are in a real rough spot. Will FaZe go back to their tried B hit? No, this is way more passive. Bomb dropped at spawn, feeling out for a potential aggressive counter from AVANGAR through mid, but there's nothing forthcoming. It's going to be an A stack. All 5 players strong, and remember, they do have an AWP in James' hands. They've got a few 5.7s and Deagles. If FaZe walk into this trap, it could be a bloodbath.
Well, James has been great in these kinds of scenarios, and this is exactly where you want an AWPer of his style. He's going to go for fights. He wants to find them. Can he flick down fast enough if rain peaks? He's got plenty of pistols behind him to control the bomb site. Here we go. Jame, he doesn't want to wait. There's the leg shot. He actually doubles up on Rain and Nico. No kill, but massive damage done. They need to take this off out of his hands. They're moving into the bomb site, but now the USPs, the Deagles come into play. Crism goes down a 5-7 in dark. So many AVANGAR players here. FaZe is in a lot of trouble, and there's the peek from Jame. They still have Kaikert to deal with. He's cleaning him off, and Nico, with the low health, isn't able to get into the action. A great kill from Guardian. Stepping up when he's needed most. Nico gonna run the gauntlet, get that bomb planted, and Guardian with the cover. This is so sketchy for FaZe. Still a chance to win for this Deagle.
His position is so tenuous, though. He has to come out into the open. In doing so, Guardian with the AWP, but a collective sigh of relief from FaZe. A very low investment from AVANGAR. Stack on A nearly reaps the rewards.
That peak from Jame, even in not doing the kills, he almost does the work needed. Doubles up on body, or on leg shots, excuse me. Bless it all. FaZe having to really fight for everything that they can get.
I think a lot of people coming into this would have thought, oh, FaZe, you know, again, write AVANGAR off. Well, maybe this is going to change some minds. Because this game has really been back and forth. There's been nothing to determine between the two teams. AVANGAR have given as good as they've got. Flashback out. There is a slight gap on the smoke, but I don't think Jame wants to risk the chance with so much on the line. Total lack of utility, though, here, Moses. Just a nade and a flash with a minute 28 left. That could be a real issue for the CTs.
They've been very good throughout this map, though, even in the first half, of creating opportunities even without the utility. This boost is one of those things they can use. Buster and Fitch, the Tower of Death, neither of them with nades, so fair play. That leaves 3 people at the B bomb site. Jame is getting aggressive with the op at A ramp. A deep peek for information. Over to the B bomb site we go. This could be so tough. As we said, no utility to hold it off. There's Kykert with the first. Oh, and he's holding the angle. The AUG's so good in this situation. The AWP's going to finish him off. Still 2 players. Olaf has no idea where he's getting hit from, but that should give away the boost.
Yeah, it should give away. There's at least 2 players on B at this stage. Now FaZe going to try and rummage around the backside. Such an important kill from Guardian onto Crescent. They could have been constricted, and there's their second flank has been found by Olafmeister. So a very shaky start, but FaZe can now get a free plant onto A.
I said in just the previous round that James has been the better AWPer in this matchup. I might have to eat my words, because Guardian has had 2 extremely impactful rounds in a row that have turned the tides for FaZe. That one picking off the flanker. You can see a Dren here just trying to take these guns away. He's got teammates coming in, but he can't really delay and slow down the fight. They're going to press the issue. Buster coming in with just the USP. The Dren can't handle it. But Nico's in market. Low HP. He just wants to keep information as the rest of his teammates come in. They're trying to take everything away from AVANGAR. Oh! Hello.
Low HP for FaZe though, all off on 5, Guardian 48. And I think they're realizing, okay, our economy is not fantastic. Nico's down at 4.2k, all off on 4.6. Let's just make sure that we don't completely break ourselves. But they regain the lead. And yeah, those 2 kills on, I think it was Crescent and James, that were flanking around the backside. If one of those goes the way of AVANGAR, that round could have completely collapsed for FaZe Clan.
And that might be small miscommunication from AVANGAR. Maybe those 2 flankers didn't hear the word that, I mean, FaZe stopped pressuring the bomb site, right? They lost the initial battle to try and take B, so they all backed away with low health. And once those flankers are coming in, if you get that communication and you just play containment, then it's much more difficult for FaZe, because with that low health, with the bruised players, they have to fight their way to open up the avenue to the A bomb site. But if you're walking right into their crosshairs, all of a sudden you go down, and there's a whole other side of the map available for FaZe. They grab a lead, 12-11, their first in a long time.
Yeah, it does seem like they've been fighting from behind most of the time, yeah.
I think it's their first of the game. They only ever got tied in the first half. They tied it up 5-5, and then AVANGAR won 2, and then FaZe won 2, and AVANGAR took the lead. So this is the first lead of the game for FaZe.
Well, there you have it, and the chance to extend that lead. AVANGAR only have the saved AK from Buster. Again, we're going to see a Zeus and a couple of upgraded pistols, but FaZe with a real chance to strike, and potentially strike AVANGAR down for good. Going to be pretty much a B stack for this time being. There are 4 players over on the side of the map, but now Buster's going to make a move with his AK-47. It seems like he's going to be the lone defender of A. Thinks better of it, though. Going to join the rest of his team.
Tell you what, FaZe have had to fight so hard for this lead. And they've had to face so many weird engagements and different strategies that have caught them completely unawares. This game has likely been absolutely no fun for anyone on FaZe. If they win this, it's going to be such a sigh of relief, and they're just going to be so happy to be done with it.
Yeah, I think that's a really fair point. I mean, AVANGAR have pushed through smokes, pushed through without any utility preceding it through the likes of Palace, and here goes the execute onto A. FaZe going to have a clean road ahead. Finally,
because like last round they walked into that stack at the B bomb site with 3 players in the boost. Just a couple rounds before that, they had walked into the stack at the A bomb site that had James with the AWP and the 4 USPs. They haven't had any easy rounds. Finally, this one is gifted to them.
And of course, the stacks are very much a dual purpose. On the one hand, if FaZe walk in, there's a chance with 5 players there with the crossfire. AVANGAR just outright win the round, but if not, we'll just play bodyguard and save the AK for Buster. We've got a bit of utility, we've got a bit invested into this round, which we'd like to take through into the next one. So AVANGAR will be happy to just save their guns. In terms of the ADR 2 from FaZe at 100, Nico and Guardian, James has consistently been a strong part of AVANGAR. And Crescent is starting to catch him up.
It's been a great game from Guardian and James, and then quietly almost, Adren and Olaf nearing on 20 kills as well. They really snuck up there. 13-11. It's been a 6-3 run. Not the most dominant of T-halves, but AVANGAR has really had a tough time regaining control of their economy. Ever since FaZe took everything away from them, they've had a really, really rough time. Even the previous buy they had, even though it was strong in terms of the guns, they didn't have any nades to go along with it. Here, finally, the best buy in quite some time. A chance for AVANGAR to get back on the board, to keep this game close down the stretch.
They lose this, the map may go with it. Enough guns to really make a go of it, though. No aggression. Kristen again just feeling his way out in connector. Quite a passive defense from AVANGAR on A. No one up close on ramp or palace. And again, you can really feel the tension on both teams not wanting to give anything away. FaZe, of course, will be able to sense the weakness. They know that AVANGAR aren't far off from conceding this map. So running in, making a mistake, no one wants to be that player, right? No one wants to be the guy that costs them potentially the entire match. Coming back onto A here, though, Moses, and FaZe, plenty of Molotovs. The set play is imminent.
This has been tentative from both teams. No one has really postured for any kind of information, and somehow AVANGAR is getting the right read. Fitch rotating over, so they'll have 3 players at A. Buster is going to be nearby. He's watching for a window room boost. It's only Jame over at the B bomb site with that AWP. Here comes the set piece. Krizen's going to be blocked off by smoke. So is Fitch and Buster in CT spawn. It's only Kaikert in front, but there's a smoke on A ramp that just got put down at the right moment. Oh, FaZe is going to have to force their way through this. It's going to be brute force. Kaikert's spotted. Nico dispatches him quickly. He's traded, and Fitch is going to go down as well. Bomb site not secured. Krizen still alive. Olaf did not expect that. And towards CT spawn, the fight is heating up.
It's going to have to come down to Kristen, you have to feel, because he needs to pull out something special for Jame. Time is running scarce, going to start to get this bomb planted. There goes Jame with the first. It forces Adren off the site. 5 seconds, and Jame strikes again for his third. AVANGAR live through 25 and do pick it up. FaZe Clan will be gutted, and you said it. The stalled smokes were everything for AVANGAR, really nullifying the timer.
The smoke, I mean, it didn't hold him back for too long, but it gave Fitch that time to push through the smoke in CT spawn and get towards triple boxes. And I think simply, FaZe was not expecting that many people there. You could see Olaf coming up connector, not clearing that stairs corner to his left. Krizen is able to get that frag, and there's just so many bodies all of a sudden. When those smokes clear, the whole rotation is in. AVANGAR made an adjustment just at the right moment, getting 4 people leaning towards A. Timeout for FaZe. They're second with 2 left. They are mostly out of money after this buy, but equally AVANGAR is sitting right on the edge as well. I think if this is now we're at the stage of the game where if a strategy doesn't work and you're forced back, I think, you know, if you can survive and save with 2 players, it might just be worth not taking a risk of going for a retake, of trying to win the round. You keep as many AKs in your hand as possible if the opportunity is really lost.
Slick movement for Jame as he gets outside. It does give him a very quick angle of peak from short. But now Rain's going to start to push. Are they going to return the favor? Very aggressive, getting up in the face of AVANGAR. So far, so good, though. For the CIS region team, they're coming out swinging with kills, eviscerating this push. There's a Molotov down into Shadow, but it's going to get instantly dealt with from the smoke. And this push has been completely swatted aside.
Again, 3 players at the A bomb site ready to go for any kind of play that's thrown at them. AVANGAR puts both of the ops, 1 at the B bomb site, 1 on catwalk. FaZe is forced away. You're still going to probe, you're still going to try and find something, anything that can give you an opportunity at this level. Jame, the next piece of danger on catwalk. Guardian's going to walk right into it, maybe not even aware that he was that exposed. And this is what I was talking about. This might be a scenario. Olaf can drop a Galil in the next round, but it looks like they want to keep moving forward. At least for the moment. 45 seconds left. See what you can find. Maybe grab that AK-47 and save it. Not even going to get that opportunity. The AUGs ring out for AVANGAR. 2 kills. 1 on the AWPs.
And Olaf never stood a chance. They invested so much of their grenades too on the A side, so as soon as those first couple kills come down and no avenge frags come into play, FaZe were always in terrible trouble.
Every time that FaZe has hit that A bomb site in this half, it's been the full set piece. It's been the smokes everywhere, it's been the smoke wall on top of stairs, over towards connector, towards CT spawn, Molotovs everywhere, flames. This time they just try and go for the contact play, hope that AVANGAR has been kind of lured into a sense of security and it doesn't happen. So FaZe going to choose to save. Give up the lead. They are tied right now at 13-13 between these two teams. And FaZe down the stretch is going to have to fight from behind one more time. We saw them almost do it versus Renegades. Guardian trying to catch Fitch in the retreat. Stands his ground for a moment, but does give it away. So Deagle on Nico, and that's really the only thing that they can use to open this up. You'd hope for just an incredible shot. He's back towards T-spawn, so no one from AVANGAR in danger. He does have a smoke as well. But mid-control for AVANGAR's Krizin is pushed up towards the top. They've got plenty of information of where FaZe can be. Very centralized, far away from the bomb site, so they can't be overrun as well. No weapons could be salvaged. It's just Fitch inside of B.
Krizin in underpass, able to get two. Also going to call out the bomb was dropped down. Quicket's going to go ahead and rinse and repeat with two of his own. And this would have to be one of the best plays of Nico's career if he pulled this off. Desert Eagle, 1-on-4, no chance. James going to shut it down. AVANGAR regain the lead. Just too shy of winning the map now.
Well, here we go. Guardian going to have that AWP in his hand. Still a double up setup for the defense. AKs on the other FaZe players. They found the winning recipe at the end of the game yesterday against Renegades. It just came a little bit too late in the match. You'd hope they found the recipe here. They've had plenty more success, but recently been shut down.
That's a really good point, actually. The similarities between this match and against Renegades are startling. It's almost the same game, to a degree. FaZe struggling to get any kind of stranglehold, then right at the end, that's where they started to find their form.
Well, they're going to hope it plays out differently. They did come back in that match and end up losing at 16-14 in the final round. That was heartbreak. This time AVANGAR, I mean, their defense, they are not scared to give up an entire bomb site, which is crazy to me. Two players at B. James is on catwalk. Krizin is dropped down in mid watching underpass. Kaiker was actually at CT spawn for some time, and he's doing it again. So pressure on the B bomb site, they're running a fake. This is going to work perfectly. Olaf is going to commit. He needs to find a kill, but look at all this pressure. All 5 players are here. The A bomb site completely open. So FaZe just tells Olaf, don't die. Don't lose your life. But look at underpass. Krizin's going to find him. That's going to be frustrating for Olaf. Either way, the plant is going to go down. It's got to happen quickly. And who better for FaZe than Guardian protecting middle?
Gonna need to live up to his name if they want to hold on to this round. Does just see a glimmer of a player on short, but Rain again. We're coming full circle in the pistol round. It was this position that was so useful for FaZe. This time Rain has a lot more going for him. Flashbang down, not going to deter his position. But now here comes the peak. He's heard some movement. Rain, oh, Buster somehow gets the upper hand with the AWP, and that could be the moment that this round goes away. Adren's going to go down the same way. AK-47 picked up, but it's all on Guardian, and he's so out of position. There's no chance of him getting this done. The diffuser's come into play, and Guardian is going to get one, but it's not enough. AVANGAR with 2 match points.
That's an unreal retake from AVANGAR. Tough spot for Rain managing those 2 choke points. Great shot from Buster. The follow-up smoke, I think Adren to be covered by that smoke, and it was not to be. What a great flick. And then he just follows up and barely spots Adren around the edge. Nico has to get aggressive, and Guardian just maybe a half second too late to stop that. Another timeout for FaZe. They must win 2 in a row.
It's do or die.
That fake worked so well.
Yeah, and it still didn't pay off for them. And a lot of that's Buster. I mean, Rain, you could see from his perspective in Murder Hole, he could hear movement down from ladder room, and he kind of shifted his crosshair across just as Buster pushes in. I
think a lot of it is just FaZe feeling really uncomfortable and not knowing, you know, against the European teams that they've played against in tournaments so frequently and practiced against so frequently. I think they're kind of going to have a great idea of where the rotations are coming from just due to experience. Against AVANGAR, you could see Guardian not holding any angle at mid, peeking on either side, trying to figure out what's going to come next. You could see Olaf not expecting Krizin to push towards underpass because he was there the entire round. Once it comes out as a fake, he just goes to clear out that player. I think FaZe on an individual level is just being confused by some of these rotations, and, well, back to the early game plan, back to this B bomb site we go. Only Rain being the aggressor for the moment. This is that Astralis play. Usually Magisk for them is in this position. They want to use the late utility to allow Rain to get a jump. Here he comes with a UMP wrapping through the flames. Not expecting the second player. He got baited in. He got lured, and it might be all over for FaZe. It's just Guardian, and now Nico. 1 on 4. And AVANGAR going to go to 2-1. This is a great victory for them off the back of a brilliant first half. They've closed things out on the defense, unless Nico has a little bit more magic left in the tank.
He has time. That's the only thing going from in a flashbang. We're going to get some information. Meanwhile, Krisen is making a move around the backside of him. 55 seconds. Even if he does take down Fitch on truck, his position will be compromised. It's been compromised anyway. Goes in for the first, at least going to get it freely. Nico is a player with so much ability. This is in the realms of possibility for a player of his caliber. But he's been naded and he's been fragged by Krisen, and AVANGAR have done it. They move 2-1 and put FaZe Clan on the brink of elimination.
Krisen right at the end as well. I mean, that nade throwing it in, he knows it's going to obscure Nico's vision. He can just spam the corner even if he can't see either. But fair play to James, 23 and 14, a phenomenal game. We